Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Amplify, where we like to highlight and spotlight movers and shakers and people that are fancy. My fancy person today, Michael Whitehead, branch
How
manager
you doing?
over in the Tampa market. So he's semi local to me with Cross Country Mortgage. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Delilah. Glad to be here.
Yes, honey. And this is a very personal Amplify. This goes I'm going to tell you like some really background on how Taco Tuesday's always been around, but how like I went on my own cuz Michael plays a very huge part of how I ended up going on my own, and it always
Mhm.
goes back to you never know who God places in your life and how important they can be, and Michael Whitehead is actually one of these people. So,
Absolutely. Yep.
so let's take it back a couple of years, right?
Yeah,
And
way back. Gonna go
way
back 2016, I think, to Atlantic Bay. Yeah.
Atlantic Bay. We met in Atlantic Bay when we were working
Yep.
there, and we've remained friends ever since and stayed in contact. Like we always
Absolutely. Yep.
called each other, we check in, and when I would go to Tampa, you and I, we went to Portillo's, we've had tacos, like all that stuff, right?
First
So
watch. You gotta forget.
yeah, yeah. So but how things came about, it was a NAMBA event a few years ago. And
Mhm.
I was like at my last corporate company, and I told you, hey, Michael, like, do you have a little time for me before you leave? Because I want to run an idea by you.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I remember
So
it very well. Yes.
tell tell them what was like the idea and like the whole how we did it, went to a corner, like tell them.
Oh, yeah. It was like a high school moment. We went to the
Yeah.
back stairs and had a conversation about what you were going through at the company you were with, and
Yeah.
some ideas you had and the struggles, and you were looking to branch off on your own and do recruiting, or more of a, not so much the traditional recruiting, but more of a placement with context that you have, because
Yeah.
everybody in the world from Taco Tuesday has introduced you to so many people, and I see you with the movers and shakers, and everybody see you know who's having problems and who's not. So your idea was to place people that you know with
Uh-huh.
companies that you like, and
Yes.
knowing you and knowing how well you are with the relationships you have, I thought you'd be amazing at it, and you are. You're doing a great job with it. But
Thank
I
you.
had at that time I had working for a company with a gentleman, Gabe, who was very entrepreneurial mindset, and
Yeah.
was an outside the box thinker. Um, and I thought that we could place you. I could talk to Gabe about it, and I
Yeah.
thought that he would. I thought he'd be very interested. I was doing it selfishly. I'm not going to lie, because
I
I was hoping for you to build this amazing team for me as well. So
yes.
I did it selfishly, but and to help you as well. But I thought you'd do great at it and fit.
Yeah.
And Gabe, it worked. Gabe fell in love with you, and
Yeah.
you were able to take off with it.
And
So
I wanted to bring this backstory. I wanted to tell this because, again, I'm a big believer of relationships and how they can take
mhm.
not only personally but professionally to the next level.
Yeah.
And yes, Gabe and I, shout out to Gabe, because anytime I call that man, he is just so supportive. And,
Yeah.
because of this partnership that you helped connect, I am
Right.
now able to be on my own,
Mhm.
and then Fabi came into the picture, and
Yes,
they're one of
probably.
the
Yep.
biggest partners, and
Mhm.
I love to work with them.
Yeah.
And but it all was because I ran an idea by you at a NAMBA
Yeah.
event
You never
in
you
the
never know
corner
what
like it
happens
was
when you
high
ask a
school.
question, right? Yep, it was funny. It was
You
funny. Yeah,
never know. And
because you're, the way you're doing it is just not the traditional way, which I think makes it work best because you have these relationships with everybody, and you have personal relationships with a lot of people, and you know the ins and outs of what they're going through and the right
yeah,
places to place them. So it's not the traditional cold call recruiter and sit there and cold call, and line people up with somebody. You're lining people up that fit the need of the right of the companies that you're working with,
yeah,
and that's what makes it work best because you have a background on everybody and you have a background on the group you're working with, a personal background, which makes it the best, makes it best.
uh, that's it. You just did a commercial for me.
There you go.
It's
Lock it up.
yeah. I
Yeah,
thank you. I can't thank you enough. And we're still,
yeah,
close to this day.
absolutely.
Talk very often. And you've moved on.
Mhm.
You're over at cross country now. I will
Yep.
always take a call from you because I understand the importance of this relationship. And you never
Mhm.
know what can happen. I mean, do you feel like I know you're growing your Tampa branch, right?
Mhm. Yeah, Central Florida. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so as you continue to grow, how are you seeing like how people are absorbing information, right? Because it's recruiting is not like it used to be, like back in the day.
No,
Are you
no,
seeing
it's
like
not.
the shift, the change happening, even necessarily not like originators, but when you're trying to develop partnerships with realtors, do you see
Right.
the shift changing, like with how people are absorbing this kind of, you know, information, how it's being delivered?
Yeah, I think it's more personal than it was before. I think it was dollar. I think it was dollars before for a lot of people, and
Mm,
I think it's become more personal. I think that you have to really get to know and take the time to get to know the people to find out what their needs are. Make sure it's the right fit
yeah,
for the manager, the team, and the recruit.
yeah,
And I think that's something that you're able to do the way you have those relationships. You can kind of you have a fast forward, so to speak. So I have to go through that process of building that relationship, taking the time
yeah,
and making sure it's the right fit for everybody. And that's what I think is what's best the way you do it because you have those relationships. You know the people, you know their needs, and you know your spot to put them.
yeah.
So,
It is.
but yeah, it is definitely changing. I've got a recruit right now that I'm coming on board. It's taken some time to develop and
Mhm.
build that trust and that like, and make sure I had the right things for her to put her in. And I feel like we've got a good fit, and we're moving forward. So, but it's definitely a slower process than it was.
Than it was, right?
Because I think it's always slower to get the right people too. I don't think you can. The one that wants to come on the next day is probably not the right person generally because they're looking for something. But the one that wants to take their time and put their thought process and do the due diligence on their side, I think that that's when you get the right people.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's not something
Yeah.
overnight. And if they do want to come on overnight, there's something there that, do not pass go, do not collect
Yeah.
$100 kind of thing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, and then with the realtors, I think you have to build that trust as well.
mhm.
And we've always is on our side is give me your leads, give me your leads. I think that we have to now provide a lot more benefits to them and be able to show them how we can help them grow their business, and that we're not just going to sit here and take their business.
Yep,
So I think that that's very important that we take the time to show them ways that we can help them develop. Some of them need the knowledge that somebody's an old guy like me that's been doing it a long time can give them a little background and
yeah.
and and help them get off the ground a little bit better.
Yep,
So yeah,
yep, yep.
it's a fun industry.
It
Keeps us
is.
on our toes, that's
It
for sure.
does, right? It keeps us we've both
Yeah,
been in it for a very, very long time, for decades.
yeah,
And
yeah,
but it's cool to see how things are changing. Change is not always a bad thing. Change, is good.
yeah.
However, I do see some people struggling with the fact that the change is happening, especially when it comes to how to get more leads, how to get more growth and things like that, how to grow your team. And if you are not open to change, you're going to get
Right.
behind.
Yeah, and I think you have to embrace the goal has to kind of be the process. If you fall in love with the process of getting the business instead of just expecting that I go out and I call people and I get business tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. You have to take the time, build the relationships, and enjoy the process, and then those relationships will be long term
Yeah,
when you do it that way. So it's just
absolutely.
the microwave mentality, I call it. I think that there's too many people with a microwave mentality to expect that it instant, and it's not instant. It's
Yeah,
what you do, what you did in January, you might start seeing now. You know, so it takes time.
you got to plant those seeds. And I'm going
Got
to
to plant the
start
seeds.
using the microwave mentality. I like that.
Okay, love it.
I love it. I just wrote that down.
Oh, good.
Michael, you will be attending NAMBA in August. I know I gave you the
I
date.
will.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great event. That
Thank
was
you.
the best events I've been to is the NAMBA event in Orlando.
Thank
Very organized, well put together, and I got something out of every speaker. I got something out of everything, and it was very much it was a fun group of people.
and I'm looking forward now. I'm hoping I'll be in Tampa soon, so we'll get together and stuff like that
Okay,
before August. But
I'll get us a table at First Watch.
tacos. But you do not know Michael Whitehead. You have to connect with him. He is such a good you're just a good man, Michael, and I'm very
Thank you.
grateful to have you in my life. You're a good person, a good
Mm,
man, and thank you for always like we check in with each other, for hanging out and all that other stuff.
mm.
And I look forward to seeing you at NAMBA. And because once you're out, you are very relationship y, sir. You
Yes.
just need to get out.
You know my video issues, so that's
Yes, yes. So again, connect with Michael Whitehead, and you will see him at the NAMBA conference in August. And you guys, with that, thank you everyone for watching and supporting another episode of Amplify. And we'll see you guys. We'll see you at the NAMBA conference. You guys, take care. Bye.